Do you understand me?
Do you understand me?
Do you understand me?
Max is a confident, lively and inquisitive 7-year-old who quite literally does not stop talking from the moment he wakes up. Nothing remarkable about that, until you hear that shortly after he was born, we were told he would soon stop making the usual baby noises and would never talk. Born 5 weeks early and very seriously ill, against all medical expectations, Max had bravely clung on to life. The emotional rollercoaster that was Max's early life continued as he was first diagnosed with hearing loss in one ear and then ultimately was diagnosed as being profoundly deaf in both.
Look, guys.
Please.
Please.
Mummy.
Mummy.
As a family, the fact that Max would stop making noises was devastating, but perhaps not as upsetting as when we were offered some sign language training being held at a local deaf society where we would all be given an introduction to signing. And their main message was that signing was the only way to communicate for deaf and hearing impaired people, and that lip reading was impossible. We lasted until lunchtime before collectively deciding that this was too upsetting to have to face. The reality of what life would be like for Max, a world of silence and signing. Out of a real dark period for us all came a chink of light when Max's grandmother read an article in a newspaper that mentioned the Elizabeth Foundation and their work at getting deaf children to talk.
It was started by a family of a deaf child who was aptly called Elizabeth. And at the time, about 35 years ago, there were no support services for deaf children. So we've grown from a very small local charity into what is now the largest charity for UK deaf children in the UK, the largest preschool programme for deaf children in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
For Evie, I don't think she would have been able to communicate as well as she is at the moment if she hadn't come here. The work that they do here is just fantastic. The environment's brilliant for them, and the way that they just get them to listen and they get involved in all the activities they do is brilliant.
For me, Toby coming to the Elizabeth Foundation, probably the most important thing is that he's getting to learn in a really acoustically friendly environment with people who completely know what they're doing. He's also getting to meet other deaf children. That's really important for him to grow up knowing that there's other people who have maybe the same concerns as him later on.
If I had to sum up the Elizabeth Foundation and what it means to my family, I would do so by relaying the experience of when I first took Max as a 6-month-old baby to meet the staff at the foundation. Within 2 minutes of meeting and playing with Max, and in a very matter-of-fact way, Pat, one of the staff, told us, "Oh, we'll get him to talk, no problem." The new dawn for Max and all of us was just the beginning.
On a day-to-day basis, I have to change the learning techniques that I do to depending which children are actually in the class. Because I have a maximum of 8, these children could range from being moderately deaf up to profoundly deaf, so I have to differentiate my teaching within my lesson. Most of our children who come to the Elizabeth Foundation are actually born to hearing parents. So it's very important for these parents, for their children to actually be able to communicate with them as with the rest of society. So that is often the reason why they choose to come to the Elizabeth Foundation.
When a child first gets diagnosed with having a hearing loss, it can happen in many different ways. So a child may be diagnosed through newborn hearing screening, the child may become ill, but basically the same process, they'd be diagnosed over audiology, and they may have like 2 or 3 different tests to confirm that they do have a hearing loss.
Here we actually use the route of them learning to listen and speak. This is not only important for just the children, but their family, their wider families who are often involved in the whole process of the children coming to the Elizabeth Foundation.
So I need to change my number 4.
Well, I think it's important for children to understand and not feel alone. So, for example, if a child had a hearing loss, I think it's important that that child does mix or at least see children with other hearing loss. Because then they're going through society knowing that they're not alone, that they're not the only people with a hearing aid, or they're not the only person with a cochlear implant. Just like I think it's important for parents of deaf children to meet other parents of deaf children.
A normal parent-baby group wasn't going to be the best for both of us, and especially not for Max. The provision locally was, in our opinion, inadequate. This is why we made the decision to travel over 4 hours to the Elizabeth Foundation, the only facility that our son needed to develop age-appropriate language by the time he started school.
There aren't any other facilities in our local area. We travel quite a while to get here, about an hour's drive. So this was the closest facility in the area that was suitable for Evie's needs.
Is that number 5? Oh, Rachel, that's not number 5, that's number 3. Hold on, let me have a look. Oh, I know. Is that number 5? Oh, Rachel, it's number 8. Hold on. Oh, is this number 5? Well done, Mia. Well done, Ida. That is number 5. All right, number 5. Show me 5 on your fingers. 5. 5. Let me see, Felix.
I think communication underpins everything that we do, and all of your learning is based on language and communication. So communication is absolutely critical in whatever way that you feel you're able to communicate.
Being able to speak and listen in what is predominantly a hearing world is going to be massively important to Toby when it comes to all throughout his life, and the level of jobs that then are available to him and the ease in which hopefully he'll be able to do those roles is going to be so much greater, just because, you know, unfortunately people don't really learn sign language so much, and so it's a necessity, I think, for him, for his future.
We're going to sing. Hello, 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 hello.
I think communication in our society is a need. We need to communicate when we're hungry, need to communicate when we're thirsty, when we're tired. So with that moves on later on in life as well, making friends, getting what you need.
My concern with him going to school is that he's been coming here for such a long time and had such great help in such a amazingly brilliant environment, that then going to school, you know, he may have attained a certain level in his speech and language that then is going to be difficult to keep up, because he's no longer going to be getting that help in that environment that's so good for him, and that my concern is that then he could drop back down, you know, although everybody's kind of very enthusiastic now about where he's doing and how well he's doing, that can only be attained really if he's given lots of support like he's been getting.
For Evie, it's a really good grounding, a really good base for the next step in her learning. She'll start school in September, so she's definitely ready for that now. She's still obviously a little bit behind with her speech and language, but she's in a far better place having been here than she would have if we had just gone to a normal mainstream preschool or nursery.
Water, okay? You're going to have a green.
I would hope for him to have a very supportive school and help from the local authority in terms of one-to-one help, and just understanding that, you know, Toby can learn whatever's given into him like any other child in the same way, providing he has the access to be able to hear it, and it's making sure he has that access and that that's not a barrier for him.
The Elizabeth Foundation offered us knowledge and support, but also gave us the confidence to challenge local professionals to find the best care we could for our son. Because of this, Max did have age-appropriate language by the time he started school.
For a cochlear implant, you need an operation, but hearing aids, they're just a thing you just put in your ears and nothing has to do. Whereas this has got a magnet and it has to go into the. Well, they put like a computer in there, and that's how it lightness to it.
Not a day goes by where we don't think of the friends we made at the Elizabeth Foundation.
Hi, I'm Max and I'm 7 years old and I'm profoundly deaf.
In fact, every time our little boy utters a word, we thank them. He will stop making noises? I don't think so.